Well, let's talk about someone very dear to us, and that is Cajun. Uh,
Yeah.
Your story, and I actually just met his family about 3 or 4 years ago,
Hmm.
and I'm a big support of Cajun's Aviation Dream. Let's talk about Cajun.
Yeah, Cajun's Aviation Dreams is an outstanding organization, and they do. I think they are doing exactly what Cajun would want them to do,
Yes.
uh, getting young folks interested in aviation and giving them some of the tools necessary to help them follow that dream and follow that path. And I think it's a noble cause because so many people are stymied by the barrier of high costs into aviation. And I certainly understand that. I know that they should be very proud of the way that they're honoring his legacy. I met Cajun in 2015,
Hmm.
and that was when I was transitioning from my first aircraft, which was the F-15 Strike Eagle, and I was going to be flying the F-35. He had
Oh,
transitioned the F-16 into the F-35, and he he actually hosted me at his house, like is common when we go to these training spots. The Air Force will put us up in a hotel, but we'd rather stay with some other friends. He was an instructor pilot in the squadron that I was learning how to fly the F-35. So I was
wow.
fortunate enough that he had an extra room. I went there and lived with him for about those 4 months and got to know him very well. And just an amazing human being, amazing American, and a fantastic pilot as well, and a huge heart. He was just a good friend. Immediately, from the day that I knocked on his door, didn't know him. I went and got a 6 pack of drinks. Just as a welcoming gift. He throws open the door, and he was a big guy, a tall guy, strong
Yeah.
dude. He opens the door, and goes, "Hey, dude, you must be Sheik. Come on in." Gives me a big bear hug. Like, "Oh, you brought beer. We're gonna be the best friends ever." And we went out
Oh,
and
wow.
had some drinks on his back patio. And from that moment, he was just a great guy, and miss him dearly. He actually came to live with myself and my wife in Las
Hmm.
Vegas.
Oh,
So
really? Wow.
yeah, when he got on the team, he didn't have a place to stay, and he was coming in to Nellis as he was looking for his permanent place to live. He ended up
Hmm.
living with me and my wife for a few months, and that was just before his passing.
Cindy and Joe are amazing, and it's
Mm,
just
yes.
I have them a part of, like they say in Hawaii, part of my ohana. So
Hmm.
they're big part of my ohana. Just really genuine people, probably the most genuine people that you'll ever meet. Okay, so Cajun, let's talk a little bit more about him, and then we're going to go into a few things, and then we'll close out.
Okay.
So anything else that really stands out about him, and of course all your colleagues who he's really touched throughout
Yeah,
his
one thing,
career.
I got to know him as I got to know him better. We talked about how he got into flying, and I'd like to, I kind of describe him as a hanger rat. He was one that would hang around the hangar. He got a job at a local airport, and that's I think, a really cool way if you're, not necessarily have the means to go right into getting training lessons or anything like that, is to go get a job at an FBO local airport, start, filling up the small general aviation aircraft. And you'd find that a lot of pilots out there will take you for a ride if they're working on certain ratings or anything like that. There's a great, it's a great way to get involved in the community, and to show your interest. And it's a great way for you to kind of expand your horizons there, get to meet a lot of people. And it's just like anything. It's a big network of people that love aviation. And it was cool because he got to share a lot of stories where get taken up in an old warbird, or he'd go
Wow.
fly in a like a steerman, or that's where he got his first group of mentors that actually got him his additional jobs. That eventually led to flying school and taking flying lessons to get his private pilot's license, and ultimately led him into the Air Force. So I think there's a good lesson there for a lot of folks that maybe think maybe flying's out of reach or too expensive. There's a lot of different ways, and if you're passionate about it, you can find ways, just like Cajun did, to
Mhm.
get involved early and to become part of that community.
So make sure that you go to the show notes. And if you subscribe to Bucket List Coach web show, I will gift you a free ebook and some really great tips on aviation as well. This is Cindy at Bucket List Coach web show live. We'll see you next time.